Solace, 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 solace.
A Hebrew Israelite will say that Jesus is a black man, or was a black man. They will use the biblical verse, Revelations chapter 1, verse 13 through 14. And then they will go on to tell you that Jesus had the skin of brass, white woolly hair, or hair like wool. And so my question I would like to ask you guys is, why would Jesus, who was a 33-year-old man, supposedly at death, why is his description of an 80-year-old alcoholic? That's the flaming eyes part. The only people I know that have flaming eyes are alcoholics. But, y'all know me, I had to get my laugh on. I've yet to see a 33-year-old man with all white hair, flaming red eyes like an alcoholic. And so I want you guys to grasp, if you reread that verse as opposed to listening to what people say, you will clearly see that the verse is not saying Jesus' hair is like wool, but it's saying it's the color. Meaning wool is white. Sheep's wool is white. And so it was explaining the color of Jesus's head, hair, pretty much everything. It explains his girdle. Now you guys have to grasp. What is being explained is Osiris. Meaning y'all know images of Osiris. He has on the white all the way down to the legs. He has the girdle on. It's gold and all colorful. All the stones. Now if you read the verse and you look at an image of Osiris, you will clearly see there's nothing to discuss. That verse is speaking of Osiris. As I said, many of these texts come from an ancient understanding that the Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Greeks all had. And so now my point of saying that is, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you will reject this truth that's undeniable that I just presented to you. Why? Because you like whoever your Hebrew Israelite teacher is, that's your brother. Mind you, just because you like him and he's your brother doesn't mean that he has the accurate understanding. And so the proof was just provided, still rejected. A man truly has no truth within himself. But it's like I said, man has his likes and his desires that he obliges to. A Hebrew wants to be accepted into something, anything that will accept him. And so in that, he will ignore truth and accept the lie. I don't want to say the lie. Someone being ignorant to truth, they're not necessary. They're a lie. But I don't want to say it in a harsh manner, where it's as if they are purposely lying. But a lie is still a lie. Meaning if you ignore truth and you go kind of on your own accord, like I said, a lie is a lie. And so men go with lies all the time. Like I said, for acceptance purposes, in matters of like and dislike. So you guys have to understand, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, your teachings is saying something that you are not receiving. And it has to do with the understanding of the teachers in that organization. Will the pride of the teachers allow them to receive truth or block them from it? Is the question all followers should have. all should follow in the goal should be to follow our lead self at some point. That should be the ending goal of anyone who follows. The laws of the land and the laws of God coincide, meaning the 10 Commandments are no different than the laws of your land. Now we know man made the laws of the land, which coincide with the laws that God gave. And so it's truly a matter of, did God influence man's ways? Is God unavoidable? Or did man make the law and make the law of God? Meaning, did man say God said this so that man would do what he says? This is the question. It's like a child. A child will tell the other children, the adult said that we can do it, or that we shouldn't do it, in order for the other children to listen to them. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't. And so, is the law of God a matter of that? Meaning, was the laws of the land and the laws of God all man-made? How do we test that out? Easy. The laws of the land say murder is wrong. God laws say thou shalt not kill. God knows you have to eat. And so when that what you're eating is life, this is killing. Why would God say that? Why would God say that? Thou shalt not kill, knowing that man has to eat. And so in that, killing will be done. Meaning the food, vegetation, meat, whatever we eat, so it had a life before it was slayed for food. And so now, why would God say thou shalt not kill, knowing that killing is inevitable for one to continue to exist? Meaning if you don't feed yourself, so you will die. In you knowing that if you do not do that, so you killed yourself. If I don't feed myself, y'all call that starvation. Meaning y'all would say he killed himself. He starved himself. No one starved him. He did that. And so again, if a man does not eat, so he kills himself, murder. If a man eats, so he kills, murder. Why would God tell you that? Is God stupid, or is man stupid and he don't pay attention to his lies? Peace and wisdom. Now this does not mean a man should go on his own accord. Well, I can kill. God is wisdom. Wisdom is peace. It's a simple thing to grasp. A man will indulge. A man will take of the life as he's here. When I say take of the life, well, kill. Life will be taken. Whether you pluck a flower out the ground, pluck an apple from a tree, go buy some meat from the store. Of course, that animal was slayed for you to do that. Like I said, life will be taken. Being as though that's the case, all a man can do is be held accountable for all that he took. All a man can do is be mindful that he will be held accountable for all that he took. And so in that, be mindful of how much you indulge, because all that one is indulging in, so there's a life on the other end. There lies the balance. In your pleasure lies a pain on the other end of the perspective, or the spectrum. And so a man will be judged according to his ignorance in the things he did, the life he took. When I say held accountable, I do not mean by some God in the sky or a judge. But a man will be held accountable to his own spirit. All we do, all we interact with, so it becomes one with the spirit. If you interact with negative things, so you become emotionally and consciously negative. Kind of uncontrollable. Get negative thoughts and negative feelings. They just come upon you. And so, you have to grasp. It's a very deep thing. One must learn mastery and control of self. Why is this important? Because if a man isn't master of himself and in control of himself, well, something more dominant will control him, in that he will be led wherever he is. And so in his ignorance and not being in tune with self, he will be led down any paths he is led down in ignorance. And so it's very important that everyone learns the self, how to master the self, and control the conscious. When I say master the self, I don't mean run around and do whatever you choose. This is not mastering and control. This is being out of control to do whatever you want. And so you have to grasp. There's two minds. You can say the mind of the body, the conscious, and the mind of the spirit, which is the subconscious. This is the mind that isn't watered. We kind of overlook our subconscious, or that little voice that says, don't do this, don't do that. Of course, that voice being your all-knowing mind. A lot of us have overrode that voice at this point in our lives. Meaning we've done all the things in life so much that, we know it's not right within ourselves. We've done it so much, at this point the voice doesn't come around. When you guys are about to have sex, the little voice doesn't come and say, oh, you shouldn't have sex. That only happened when you was losing your virginity. And so you have to grasp. The little voice must be watered. Like I always say, the mind is a seed. So it's a very deep thing. If any of you guys would like to go deep into your studies, email Mr. Solace, that's me, at solace031@gmail.com. If you would like to give and receive, to balance out for the wisdom that was received, you can do that at paypal.me/SolaceSolari, cash.me/$wise servant. The information is usually in the descriptions of my videos. You can click the arrow, or I guess you can just rewind this and write it down. I'm not sure. Also, if you would like to purchase any of my lecture books, same information. Email me, visit my PayPal or Cash App. I am not a preacher, a pastor, or a man in religion. And so you do not need to hold your religious values to me. I provide a service, as we all do. Some of you guys provide death as a service. I provide wisdom as a service. Some of you guys provide drugs as a service. Some of you women provide sex as a service. So all these things, they have their own values. And so I say again, please don't hold me up to any of the values that y'all have. I'm just a balanced person who understands life. I've tapped into my inner self. And so I keep my all-knowing mind watered. with good positive energy. It's the wise servant. You guys be well. Peace and wisdom.